What's up, guys? So this morning I want to debunk one part of the knee over toes guy approach. There's a lot of stuff that he's doing that is outright wrong. There's no physiological evidence behind why it would work, and there's actually plenty of physiological evidence contrary to what he is suggesting in terms of improving your knee strength or fixing knee pain. So quite frankly, it's a lot of nonsense, really. He seems to be relatively clueless, and everything he's talking about are pretty much anecdotes. There's a couple of concepts that you need to understand to explain why he's able to do these, silly knee things. But let me just start off by saying this. A lot of people in the fitness industry have one goal in mind. That is to sell you something, okay? And many people will go about this by using smoke and mirrors, deception, in a lot of cases flat out lying, because they know that a lot of people do not understand physiology very well. They have no desire to understand physiology. They have no desire to understand exercise science or nutritional science. People are just lazy, and they know that. So what they're going to do is they're going to create some ridiculous off-the-wall approach with a very simple answer to a complicated problem, which there's almost never a simple answer to a complicated problem. But that's what people are looking for, because people are lazy. So knee over toes guy comes up with fix your knee pain with my book. So this guy, he has a book, his YouTube channel. He's motivated by selling things. And most of what he's promoting is absolutely dangerous for most of the population. So let's start off by talking about, there's a lot of things to debunk with him. Let's start off by talking about his stretches, okay? He's under the belief that you should be flexing a knee, putting a knee in such aggressive flexion by sitting and bending, and you see him bend his knees so much all the time, promoting the erroneous belief that will strengthen your knee. No, it won't. What will strengthen your knee is by strengthening the muscles involved in knee flexion and knee extension. Simple. The quadriceps, the four muscles of the quadriceps, and the biceps femoris. You strengthen those muscles, you will strengthen your knee's functional ability. Now, when we talk about the connective tissue in the knee, as a side effect of strengthening your muscles, we now know through myokine signaling that connective tissue in the joint will get stronger if you strengthen the muscle associated with that joint. So if you strengthen the biceps femoris and the quadriceps, the hamstrings and the quads, the connective tissue in the knee, including the patellar tendon, will get stronger. Bending your knee in extreme positions will not make it stronger. It will appear to have become stronger for some people due to neurological efficiency and neurological improvements. So if over a period of time you put your joint in an extreme position of range of motion, and in this case extreme flexion, your body will adapt to permit that extreme range of motion over time, the more you teach it. It is a neurological phenomenon. And in order to understand this, you have to understand what the stretch reflex is. So the stretch reflex is simply a way that your body avoids or tries to prevent injury to a joint. So you'll notice when you go very deep in that knee flexion or that squatting knee position and bend the hell out of them, you'll notice some tightness. The tightness is the biceps femoris involuntarily, not the biceps femoris, just all the quadricep muscles in general, involuntarily contracting to prevent that patellar tendon from busting open. The quadriceps contract involuntarily to prevent dangerous positions, dangerous joint positions that may injure the joint. That's why you feel that tightness. So, by putting the joint in a dangerous position, you're not strengthening anything. You're just teaching the nervous system to allow it to go into that dangerous position, which isn't necessarily a good thing. It's a bad thing. Cool, it's a nice little party trick to be able to bend your knees that much, but putting them in those positions isn't going to make them stronger, and it's not going to make them better going in that position. For instance, in daily life, you're probably not going to squat that much, but put the knee in that position. But if you were to, the reason why you would get hurt doing that is simply because you have weak quadriceps and therefore weak tendons and ligaments and connective tissues in the knee joint. It's got nothing to do with the fact that you haven't trained in that position or you haven't put the knee in that position or made it strong in that position. Most of the time, it's just because you're weak. It's got nothing to do with stretching or doing these silly party tricks with extreme knee flexion. Not only is that not going to help your knee, it is going to injure your damn knee if you are weak. If you take someone off the street who is not training, weaker than average or even average, and you put them in that position, they're going to hurt something. They're likely going to develop microtrauma in the connective tissues, the patellar tendon and the ligaments, and probably contribute towards an injury. You do this kind of stuff before an athletic event, contrary to what this guy says, you're going to increase the likelihood of an injury. Because loading muscles in passive insufficiency and loading joints like that prior to doing high impact or explosive movements increases the chance of injury. So it's almost the opposite of what this guy says. I'm not sure what his qualifications are. I'm not sure where he came up with this. But my guesses are his whole story about him not being able to bend his knee or his whole story about his knee pain is made up. He's making it up. Because being able to go in the positions that he's able to go in is highly genetic. He has long muscle bellies. You can tell in his quads. He has very long muscle bellies in his quads. He has high neuromuscular efficiency, neurological efficiency. Most people wouldn't even be able to bend like that due to the physiology, the nature of their specific physiology, and their neurological efficiency. So the fact that this guy can jump and dunk a basketball, the fact that he can bend like this and bend all these crazy ways, believe it or not, is highly genetic. It's not average. It's unusual. So his ability to bend and move like this tricks people into thinking that they too will be able to do this if they follow his stupid program. But the truth is you won't. Flexibility is highly genetic. For instance, gymnasts. Gymnastics don't make you flexible. Basically what happens is, it's called selection bias. You start off with, let's say, 100 gymnasts. The inflexible ones suck at gymnastics and they fall out, they drop out. And now you're left with physiological advantages such as flexibility, which make you better at doing gymnastics, so you're left with just flexible people, just like basketball. You start off, in middle school, whatever, with all kinds of different heights, and then the higher you go in competition, college, NBA, you're left with the tallest people because height is an advantage in basketball, just like flexibility is an advantage in gymnastics. So there's this weird confusion. People don't understand what selection bias is, and they think that just because somebody is able to do something, that you too will be able to do it if you just copy what they say without any sort of appreciation for the genetic variables that contribute to this. So, in a nutshell, bending your knees in extreme positions, extreme joint angles and extreme knee flexion is not good. It's not going to help you with anything, and it's going to increase your chance of injury. It's not going to strengthen your knee. It's going to weaken your knee. If you want to make your knee stronger, you need to make the muscles involved with acting on that particular joint stronger. Quadriceps, biceps femoris, or hamstrings. So that is just one thing that he gets wrong. There's plenty of other things that he's getting completely wrong that I'm going to address in other videos, but don't do this. If you do this, you will get hurt. And the people who do this and don't get hurt are just genetically predisposed to more flexibility. So if you want more science-based exercise tips and more myth debunking, follow me on Instagram, _J_Vincent. Like and subscribe to the channel because I'm busting guys like this and myths like this all the time. Join my Patreon page if you want specific science-based workouts that actually work. Patreon.com/JVincent. And for private coaching, email me at the email address at the end of this video.